Would you like to become more memorable in social situations? If so, then you need to learn how to not be a boring conversationalist. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm about to share with you the exact same process that I've used to have more engaging interactions with whoever I talk to. My name is Mike Macapinlac. I help STEM professionals improve their social confidence. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every single week. So first of all, what makes a person boring? From my experience, someone who's not interesting just can't keep other people's attention. They're too focused on themselves and they're unable to relate to others. On top of that, they just don't have a whole lot of things to talk about. If that sounds like you, that's going to hold you back from creating quality connections. That being said, here are 10 actionable tips that you can implement right away. All right, let's get into it. Tip number 1 is to stay relevant. If you're wondering how to not be a boring conversationalist, you need to know a little bit about a lot of things. By doing so, you'll be able to make small talk much easier, which will help you connect with a wider range of people. So before you head out to any social gathering, I recommend you do a bit of research to stay relevant. Take the time to learn more about trending topics, popular shows, and current events. You can do this by visiting a few reputable news websites and checking out their social media accounts as well. When you know you have something valuable to share, you'll feel a lot more confident interacting with anybody. You'll prevent awkward silences during your conversations, and you'll figure out how to never run out of things to say much faster. Tip number 2 is to do novel activities. If you want to figure out how to not be a boring conversationalist, you have to keep an open mind. Be courageous and say yes to things you normally wouldn't. I can't tell you how many times I've been pleasantly surprised when I tried something that I've never done before. For example, you can go to a restaurant that you haven't been to and order a dish that you normally wouldn't. You can listen to different types of music or take up a new hobby as well. Another good way to become a more interesting person is to go on a trip. Personally, I've lived in multiple countries. I've seen a variety of cultures and learned to speak different languages as well. Traveling exposes you to a wide range of experiences, which will expand your perspective. As a result, you'll become a more understanding and relatable person. As the saying goes, variety is the spice of life. Schedule time to be adventurous and prepare to be amazed at what you discover. Tip number 3 is to be more relatable. We tend to be fond of those who are similar to us. If you want to know how to not be a boring conversationalist, explore as many mutual interests as you can. The best way to do this is to ask more open-ended questions. The more information you have to work with, the easier it'll be for you to come up with topics that you can discuss. This will help you figure out how to keep a conversation going much easier, which will help you build rapport with others very quickly. The better you are at finding commonalities with others, the more charismatic you'll come across. Tip number 4 is to have a sense of humor. I don't know about you, but I don't like being around someone who's so serious all the time. If you can't make fun of yourself, it shows that you're heavily invested in other people's perception of you. If you want to learn how to not be a boring conversationalist, you need to loosen up. Stop being so serious all the time. Having a good sense of humor is also a sign of good mental health and social intelligence. It's hard to make jokes if you're depressed and socially disconnected, right? Putting yourself on the line by saying things that most people won't also shows a lot of courage. That's why taking the time to learn to be funny is one of the best things you can ever do. To help you get started, I encourage you to start watching more comedy shows. When something makes you laugh, ask yourself why, and then try to incorporate what you learned during your next interaction. If you want some quick wins, you can just repeat other people's jokes for now. That way, you can get a feel for how things work. Eventually, you'll figure out your own unique sense of humor and be able to come up with your own material. Tip number 5 is to learn new things. Doing the same things over and over again can get you stuck in a rut. If your typical week consists of going to work, going home, and playing video games, then something needs to change. You can only talk about the same topics over and over again for so long. If you're wondering how to not be a boring conversationalist, make sure you feed your mind on a consistent basis. By taking the time to learn regularly, you'll have something to say on a variety of topics. Think about it. Even if you only read 10 pages a day from a 200-page book, you can finish that in 3 weeks. That's about 17 books a year. Another alternative to reading is to listen to audiobooks and podcasts. It's a great way to learn while you're driving, working out at the gym, or running errands. Personally, my life has transformed for the better from self-education. If you pick up just a few new ideas from every book that you read, that could be life-changing if you actually implement them. Tip number 6 is to open up more. Personally, I can't stand being around someone who only talks about themselves. If you want to know how to not be a boring conversationalist, always remain humble. Instead of bragging about your accomplishments, don't be afraid to show some vulnerability. Be the first one to open up and let others see the real you. Now, I'm not saying you should air out your dirty laundry and dump your emotional baggage on others. All you have to do is to share a small secret about yourself. By doing so, you encourage the other person to do the same as well. As a result, you'll come across more trustworthy and likable. Tip number 7 is to be interested in others. We all have an innate desire to feel important. That's why we like those who like us. If you want to figure out how to not be a boring conversationalist, take the focus away from yourself. If you want others to be interested in you, you need to be interested in them first. The next time you talk to someone, you'll want to view yourself as a student. Be curious about them and see if you can learn something new. Put your phone away, be present, and give whoever you're with your undivided attention. Lean forward to show interest and nod in agreement to encourage them to keep sharing. By doing these things, you'll make whoever you talk to feel special. They'll have a good impression of you and they'll look forward to seeing you again. If you want to know how to be memorable in social settings, this is one of the best ways to do it. Tip number 8 is to learn to tell good stories. As a social skills coach, I've worked with a lot of engineers, programmers, and developers in the past. Because they're paid based on their technical expertise, they're not really required to be social. From what I've noticed, most of them make the mistake of being so brief when they share something. As a result, people find it hard to hold a conversation with them because they don't have a whole lot to work with. If you want to learn how to not be a boring conversationalist, you need to know how to express yourself verbally. That's why you have to be able to tell good stories. The next time you share something, make sure you structure it properly. Set things up well by giving some background information and creating contrast if it applies. Make sure you use descriptive words to engage the senses. And then release the tension you've built up once you conclude your story. Also, avoid using jargons when you share something. These are very specific and technical terms that only your coworkers would comprehend. To fix this issue, always use simple words. Try to explain complicated ideas in a way that others would comprehend quickly. By doing so, you make it easy for people to figure out how to keep a conversation going with you. As a result, you'll be able to make more quality connections much faster. Tip number 9 is to ask unconventional questions. Learning how to make small talk is such an important skill to develop. At the end of the day, you need to be able to exchange polite pleasantries with people you don't know well yet. But if you want to figure out how to not be a boring conversationalist, don't get stuck there. You won't be able to build rapport with others if you're just talking about the weather or what traffic was like earlier that day. If you're wondering how to get past small talk, try asking more unconventional questions. For example, you can ask if money wasn't an issue, what would they do and why? You can ask what's a hidden talent that they have or what's a skill that they wish they could develop. You can also ask what's their favorite place that they've traveled to and what they like about it. Do you see how that works? Most people usually don't get asked these things, so it gets them really thinking. That being said, make sure you have your own answers to these questions prepared ahead of time. That way, you'll be able to respond confidently and maintain the interaction with ease. Tip number 10 is to stop trying so hard to fit in. Most people who struggle socially tend to play it too safe. Because they don't want to be criticized by others, they just end up keeping to themselves. If you want to know how to not be a boring conversationalist, stop trying so hard to fit in. Remember, nobody likes people who are fake, so don't pretend to be someone that you're not. The world would be a boring place if we're all trying to be like each other. That's why you need to embrace your quirks. It doesn't matter if you're into nerdy stuff like comic books, coding, or cosplay. Go all in on whatever you're into because passion is very contagious. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are and what you do. There's no way you'll be able to get along with everybody. Some will like you, some won't, and that's totally okay. Just focus on becoming the best version of yourself. The more authentic you are, the faster you'll find the right relationships for you. If you're shy and technically skilled and you want to know how to approach and talk to anybody, remember to download your free social confidence cheat sheet. The link is in the description below. If you're tired of struggling socially and you want to learn more about our social skills coaching program, book your free consultation today and let's connect. The link is in the description below as well. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who you know who could benefit from it. And now, let's turn it to you. Which one of these steps are you going to implement first? Are you going to work on developing your sense of humor or on telling good stories? Leave me a comment below and let me know. Alright, that's it for me for now, and I'll see you in the next video.